You hear three notes and your chest tightens. You don't know why. You didn't choose this. Your body reacted before your mind even caught up. That's strange, isn't it? A pattern of sound waves, invisible and weightless, just reached into you and pulled a string you didn't know existed. But the real answer is far stranger than music is emotional. Your brain was never built to enjoy music. It was built to survive. And somewhere along the way, it hijacked one system to build another. Start with the obvious question. Why does a minor chord feel sad? Why does a fast rhythm make your foot move before you decide to move it? You've felt this 1,000 times, you've never asked where it comes from. Here's the strange part. Sound, on its own, means nothing. It's just air pressure changing shape. Your ear turns that pressure into electricity. Your brain turns that electricity into feeling. Somewhere in that chain, meaning gets created out of nothing. And the place where it happens is far older than music itself. Long before your ancestors sang a single melody, they needed to know one thing instantly. Is that sound a threat? A snapping branch? A low growl? A sudden silence where there should have been birdsong? Your ancestors who reacted fastest to sound survived longest. The ones who paused to think it through did not. That reflex never left you. It's still running right now, underneath every song you love. Researcher Daniel Levitin, who spent decades studying the neuroscience of music, found that a piece of music can activate the same brain regions responsible for threat detection, reward, and memory, all within a fraction of a second. Your brain doesn't file music under art, it files it under important. The same wiring that once listened for predators now listens for your favorite chorus, but detecting sound is not the same as loving it. So where does the pleasure come from? In 2011, neuroscientist Valorie Salimpoor and her colleagues ran an experiment that changed how we understand chills, real chills, the kind that run down your arms when a song hits its peak. Using brain scans, they found that dopamine, the same chemical released by food, sex, and drugs, floods your brain's reward center in the moments right before a musical climax. Not during it, before it. Read that again. Your brain gets its biggest hit of pleasure from anticipating what's about to happen, not from the note itself, but from the tension right before it lands. That's not an accident, that's prediction. Your brain is, at its core, a prediction machine. It is constantly guessing what comes next, in every sound, every sentence, every step you take. Music is built entirely out of expectation and delay. A melody rises and some part of you expects it to resolve. When it does, right on time, you feel satisfaction. When it doesn't, when a song holds back, breaks pattern, or surprises you, you feel something closer to awe. Composers have exploited this for centuries without knowing the neuroscience behind it. They just knew what worked. Delay the resolution, hold the tension, then release it exactly when the listener has almost stopped expecting it. Your body has no idea it's being predicted. It just feels the payoff. So music borrows your ancient threat system and your ancient reward system at the same time. But there's a third piece, and this one goes back even further than sound itself. Rhythm. Before you were born, before your eyes opened or your lungs took a single breath, you were already listening to a beat. Your mother's heartbeat surrounded you for 9 months, a steady, repeating rhythm that meant one thing only: safety. Researcher Sandra Trehub, who has spent her career studying how infants perceive sound, found that newborns show a strong preference for rhythmic regular patterns almost immediately after birth. Not because they learned to like rhythm, because rhythm was the first environment they ever knew. That's why a steady beat can calm you, and a broken one can unsettle you. You're not responding to music. You're responding to a memory older than memory itself. Now here's the part that should genuinely unsettle you. None of this requires words. A piece of music with no lyrics at all, nothing but rising and falling tone, can still make a stranger cry, still make a stadium of thousands move in the exact same direction at the exact same moment. Neuroscientist Robert Zatorre, who has spent decades mapping how the brain processes sound, has shown that musical patterns activate emotional centers directly without ever passing through the parts of your brain responsible for language or logic. Music doesn't ask your permission. It goes around the door marked thinking and knocks directly on the room marked feeling. That's why you can't argue yourself out of a song. You can know logically that it's just vibration and air, and still it will make you cry. Think about what that means. For most of human history, before written language, before agriculture, before permanent shelter, groups of early humans were already gathering to chant, to drum, to move together in rhythm. Some researchers believe this shared synchronized sound may have been one of the earliest tools for bonding a group together, tightening trust between people who were not related by blood. A shared rhythm made a group feel like one body instead of many strangers. You still feel that today. A crowd singing the same song in unison, a room falling silent at the same quiet note. You are not just hearing music, you are being folded into a group, the same way your ancestors were folded into a fire circle 100,000 years ago. So why does a song make you cry in your car alone with no one else around to bond with? Because the machinery doesn't know you're alone, it only knows the pattern. Threat detection, reward prediction, rhythmic safety, group bonding, all four systems firing from a signal your brain was never built to separate from real life. Ask yourself honestly, have you ever cried at a song and not known exactly why? That's not confusion. That's four ancient systems, older than language, older than agriculture, older than fire, all agreeing on one thing at once. Something important just happened. Nothing did, technically, just air moving in a pattern. And yet you felt it in your chest before your mind had a single word for it. So the next time three notes make your chest tighten, you'll know what's actually happening underneath. It isn't magic, it's memory, it's prediction. It's 100,000 years of ancestors who survived by listening closely, wrapped inside 3 minutes and 30 seconds of sound. You didn't choose the feeling, you inherited it.